Hey everyone, welcome back to Transportvania 2. This is the Great Western Railway. We're following one of our ore trains into the steel mill. There was a great comment yesterday about, hey, you forgot that you could maybe upgrade the trains for the steel mill line here. I didn't want to put another train on the line because it's already quite busy, but we actually can upgrade the capacity. So as you can see over here, if we let this fly past, there is, let me disconnect there. There is a lot on the station, so hopefully we can just deliver a little bit more. So yeah, we have these 3 trains. They're all kind of old from an engine point of view. So let's see if we can edit them. So we are using, if I hover over this, it says the GWR Mites twin bolster, and I've already set the steel filter and GWR. And so realistically it is, where is it? Is it under the first one or the second one? I think it might be under the second one. Yeah, GWR Mites twin bolster. Yeah, this one. So these hold 8 and go 72. And there's a couple of newer ones. So if we just look at the GWR ones, there's this early one that goes up to 12 from, was it 8 I said? Yeah, from 8 with a bit more speed, 97. And even newer one goes up to 12. So let's try replacing that and see what it looks like. We'll go for the same length of about 120. Can we push it and go one more? We probably can go 130. I think there's enough space on both ends. I think, yeah, this platform definitely has a bit of space on it for a U-turn. Like its butt will be over the end, and that should be fine. And at the other end of the line, way down here, how long is the station? So, yeah, the station goes in here, and there's a bit of space there, so we can turn around even on the alternate platform. So yeah, that'll work. So yeah, let's do that 3 times, I guess. And we'll go up to 130 each time, and we'll go from what's going to be from 80 to 96. Yeah, so not a huge increase, but an increase nonetheless. The operational cost will fly up, so we may start losing money actually, but it's only money. So yeah, let's do that. I don't know if I want to change the engine themselves. Where are you? Yeah, it's a bit old. I think it should be okay. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like, yeah, it looks like they just stretched the models out a little bit, so the pipes are a little bit longer, because before it was about that long rather than this long. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I do like how it mixes up the payload, like girders and stuff. Yeah, you can see that we got, okay, that one's like half full, and yeah, an entire one at the end. So yeah, it looks like we, yeah, that last 16 goes there. The railway line, it is busy. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I don't want to put too many more things on the line. Queuing there, queuing there. Yeah, that's a bit empty. It should clear itself up. All right, today, while we're in this area, we are going to be doing the waterfall, which I can't find. Where's the waterfall? Waterfall over here. So when we added this bridge in here, the idea was this is kind of like a rushing water that's a little bit seasonal. Yeah, kind of looks cool. And then it comes down this valley, and it's a dry valley, and then comes through here. So basically there's a more, I called the episode flash flood. The idea was that water comes rushing down the valley because of all this space in a rainstorm, rushes down here, and then comes out onto that floodplain. And most of the time it's dry. So this will be a dry waterfall, but we need to put that in there. So this is going to be a whole lot of leveling and stuff like that. I'd like to use square brushes when I do this, because it kind of gives you nice jaggedy edges. And so it's just a matter of making lots of little tiers. And yeah, and just building it up. You can see that over here is the more natural point. So I actually might bring this forward a bit. Actually, you know what? These hills are kind of boring. Let's give this a bit of character. Yeah, let's give like this. I don't know what I did there. Ugh. Smooth gun. Yeah, so we'll just give that a little bit of character. Pull that out a bit. And yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. The lumps are good. You don't want to destroy the lumps. And yeah, we'll give that all the way across there. And we'll explain that a bit more. I'm going to give that a bit of a gully. Yeah, we'll go all the way over to here. And then up the ridge, I think we probably can start it all the way up here actually. So if we just push this in a little bit as we go and just cause basically a little valley, if you want to maybe call it that. Yeah, let's pull this out a bit. It's kind of hard to get a sense of where I am because this perspective doesn't really draw what I'm doing very well. This is where the square brush looks good. You can see how it kind of gives you this nice, because that edge, that diamond edge, it kind of gives you a nice, more stark thing. Because if I change the circle and do the same thing, see how it kind of it's just a little bit too uniform. It's not. It is quite a subtle difference, but I think the square edge does do a better job. And so, you do need to be at an angle at it though. You need to be using the pointy edge. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We can, doesn't have to go like a round curve perfectly. We can do it this way. Yeah, and then okay, it's building up. All right, we need. I think this is too close, and then we need to bring that edge in like that, and another one through there. And then we'll push that back a little bit. Not as stark. We don't want it like as steep as it was. And looks like there's another natural one through there. Yeah, I'm liking this. This is working out pretty good. Yeah, when I thought about doing this waterfall, I didn't really think about the mountains being a part of the equation. But now I start doing this, it's like, yeah, of course it has to be part of the equation, because you got to explain why a waterfall exists. A waterfall would normally just be a river, and it needs to have harder rock to partially erode against. So that makes sense that there's a lot more cragginess. Trying to get that level through there. Okay. Yeah. That doesn't look too bad. I think this side also needs it a little bit. I think I might increase the brush size by a tiny amount. Alright, let's fill this in. And we'll find a natural line there. Let's push this in a bit. And we'll go a bit smoother here near the lake. And this is going to be covered with so many trees. There we go. Yeah, a bit more. I don't want that to be perfectly like that. I want it to dip down a bit. Yeah. So I think if I do some smoothing in the middle, we can fade those two off. Cool. Yeah, right. So then we also need this side to have the same thing. I think I might actually pull this across so I can work out what the height is. And then let's do that up the valley. This is actually very flat in here. So, yeah, we'll have to do a fill in rather than a cut. And you know, we'll have another effect in here, I think. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think that's good. I'm just going to smooth that off a bit though. Yeah, my voice is a bit croaky. I think I'm coming down with something. A bit more baritone today. Let's finish that off, and then we'll squeeze in there. Yeah, so we'll have a little friend come in here, and so the water will come off there, sheeting down, and then we'll smooth these edges off up here up the valley, and then it kind of comes down here, down the valley, rushes over here. So we need to find some places where we're going to get nice stark waterfalls. What I am going to do for now is de-assetify this, because I want to see the raw color that the game gives us. I want to see that white. Alright, so let's get this final shape in. So let's push that in there, And we'll bring out from about that height over here, actually a bit that height up there. And I will have to explain why that is all filled in. And yeah, so then we want the water's going to be there, and there's the really starkness. So water's flowing over there into a shallow pool. Bring that down a bit. I think I actually might make a water feature right there. These are water assets. So I think I might do that, and we'll put some water there. I think what I want is I'm going to go just above that water height. I'm going to go there. And yeah, that should work quite well. It's probably a little bit deep. We'll put the water in last because I don't want to have to play with that too much. And alright, so then let's push that in a bit. Another waterfall feature there. That can be a shelf around here. Let's pull it in until we get to somewhere where it causes a thing. Actually, that's really high up there. Let's bring this up a micro amount. And yeah, make that a little bit higher. Fade it up. Actually, that whole area is actually the same height. Looks like it's a hill, so that's fine. All right, I think I'm happy with that. I think this hill probably should have a little bit less starkness to it because it's kind of like exposed. Yeah, and then yeah, let's just cut into this a little bit. Yeah, make this a little bit less uniform. There we go. All right. I think the order of operations is get the fernery and stuff in first. Yeah, and then we'll do big trees. So we'll start with small stuff and work our way up. And then before that, we probably want texturing. So under here, we tend to use this orangey one. This I think it's meant to be granite. And let's give this a river base. We'll keep it simple first. I'm not going to paint there because I want to make sure that the white, or maybe do I want the white to be the falls? Actually, what I might do is this. I'll make a very narrow drop, and then we'll have scarring as it drops. So there's another example of this. Where are we? I think, yeah, over here, I think. Where is it? Where is it? Here, this one. You can see here, it's very dark. We use a dark color on the sides, and then you've got that dry drop, and you can see how then we put little pools of water in it. So this is kind of what I'm going for in the end, a very dry look. But then from a foliage point of view, we'll mix it up and treat it more like this one. You can see how there's just a very simple base, like cobblestone type thing at the bottom, and then we'll transition up to grass and very simple ferns and stuff. And then this one doesn't have too many trees on it. Actually, it probably has less than I would expect. That's the kind of the plan. Yeah, from afar, here it is right here. It doesn't look too out of place. Those shelves kind of match over here. And as I said, I'm going to put a lot of trees on it anyway, so that will hide a lot of it. I think I went a little bit too far with this. So let me pull this in. When we put shrubs down, it's going to change the effect a lot anyway. So yeah, do that. Make sure it's very clean. A little shallow area, and then I think we can bring this through here. Good risk is these rocks have been eroded away and made little pebbles and fallen into these nooks and craggies, and then we'll go there. And then I think that's probably enough because there's not that much erosion here from a pebbles point of view. Let's fix that height problem in there. And we will, I think, draw stuff in here. Probably not necessary. As I said, we're going to put grass and bushes and everything else around here anyway, so fix that. And yeah, this is a stone there, that kind of works. All right, I think that's the end of the texturing. I don't think there's anything. Maybe some darker grass. Yeah, I might put some darker grass in the corner. So this grass, it's just normal grass, but the difference is there's a bright one, a medium one, and a dark one. And yeah, it just gives you slightly different, see that slightly darker tone. So I'm just going to make it look a little bit more, you know, shadowy and stuff like that. And I mistakenly did that. And yeah, we'll do some dark grass. Where are we? Down here as well. So you can only have one of these at once down the petting tool. So you can only have grass, you can only have ferns, you can only have plants and stuff, like flowers and stuff. So when I put down the ferns, this will get replaced. I think we can go a little bit wider. And as soon as I did that wider, I destroyed the edge. And I think we have got to the point where I'm happy with that. Yeah, let's have a look at the train go over the bridge while we can. Get some full screen action. Yeah, they've got some speed up. That's good to see our new... Actually, I wonder if it has any fuel in it. It does not. We added those tanks to the back of the train last time, and they're wasting money right now. Let's get rid of that because I want to see that edge. All right, ferns. Ingo comes to the rescue. So I think I might start with small ferns first. And put that kind of just sprinkle in the middle. Do I want that? Maybe not. See, now I've lost the thing. I think I want one of those ferns actually more on the edge. You don't really see the ferns, so yeah, they're so small comparative to everything else that it doesn't really matter too much. Right, I think that's plenty of ferns. Let's go for the underbrush. This is the one that actually matters. So we'll bring the strength down, but bring this up a bit, and then we'll put these in. These like nettles. So if we get really down low, actually let me use the camera tool. And then yeah, if we get really low, you can see that there's those ferns, and then here's the nettles. Got a couple little berries and stuff in them. A little bit of flower stuff, but yeah, down low you can see what they are. So very, what you expect to see and in an undergrown area, or overgrown area I should say. And then you can see that those pebbles, that granite is that pebble effect. So yeah, let's keep on doing Ingo's stuff. Yeah, we've used this one a lot. So I'm gonna fill in, I think I'm gonna fill in everywhere, because we'll lose the texture when we put down a tree. So that can go along there. You know what? You can be harassing the train line all over there, under there. And do I want on top of the hill? Probably not. Back to there, and get the right one. And all right, ferns in there. And we'll go all the way up the valley, and then I know they're going to be under these trees. So we'll do this. RIP my frame rate. Actually, what is my frame rate right now? It is 190. So when we started, I was getting 270. So yeah, 190 is still okay. It's still pretty impressive. But yeah, my machine is definitely taking a hit. The stutters you see, I don't think the stutters are to do with graphics. I think the stutters is to do more with the animation or the the logic of the freight moving and the people and stuff. So yeah, when you say a stutter, I don't think that's actually usually a lack of graphics. I think it's usually a lack of CPU compute to work out the new routes and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I don't know if upgrading your graphics card actually starts or will address stutters. Hopefully I'm not doing this too much. I think it's okay. I want this area to be pretty overgrown. That was too much. And yeah, definitely not on the track around here. There's 2 main line around here. Alright. It's looking better. Let's turn these icons off. Let's make sure we have nothing destroying our view. Yeah, okay, that's doable. Tree time. I think, is it tree time? Actually, I might, before I do that, put down some flowers. So these are impossible to see. But you can see these. Yeah, see those little blue things. You barely ever see them. But before we put down trees and stuff, I want to make this whole area very, very flowery. And as I said, you won't notice it unless you happen to bring the camera tool out and have some fun. But yeah, I do like to add that around, like this whole area here. We can just put it in here. You won't really notice it. I think I need to find some type of like a little harbor asset or something, like little boats on the lake. I don't think I've got any. Where are you, Ingo? Ingo, if anybody's going to have it, I don't think Grime's going to have it. No, if anybody's going to have it, it's going to be Ingo. But I don't think I've got his tropical tree stuff. But yeah, he does have. Yeah, under Ingo, there is. Where are you, Ingo? Water assets. That's what we're going to use to put down water. There is here, this one, harbors, barriers. We use this is why we get our fences from, the harbor fences. There is okay, here's the ones I don't have enabled. So I don't have his greenhouses because they're just too modern. Game environments is different sky. I didn't need to do that. We're not doing windmills because there's not really windmill. Here, small ports. This is what I need to get. I need to install this or add this and have these little jetties out. And then I don't need pavers. This just adds all these wet type fields. I don't use that too much. And this workshop is too modern. That's why I don't have it installed. I'll have all those definitely on the next series. All right, trees. Let's get this done. So do I want to just be spraying trees into the environment, or do I want to do this surgically? I think I might do this surgically. I'm going to put... yeah, some small ones in here. So that's sprinkle. I should get a little bit more power. Let's get those sprinkled in. And as you can see, we're losing the texture as we do it. And yeah, these guys are kind of like hanging on the best they can to get some sunlight. And I think I don't want to use too many of these. I don't think we need too many of these. And yeah, not there. I think this area may need some work. I think that hill is a little bit wrong. Oh, my voice is gone. Hopefully I remember to get rid of that in the edit. A big cough. All right, so that water asset was quite big. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we should be able to do it. Let's not do any more of movement here. We're going to say, hey, that's it. Ingo, give me some water, please. I think let's go square. I think it's going to be pretty big, both dimensions. And let's get this in the right spot. I'm just going to get kind of close. I think I need to kind of click on about there and then go up and down. Actually, we've got to, before I do that, see there's an edge there. I got to fix that first. Let's fix that first. So if I smoothify that, nope, wrong way. So we need to, you know what? I think I might delete this and let's get the whole thing in again. Okay, wait, this is wrong. Okay. Well, I did kind of like that. I made it dark. Yeah. Ingo, where are you? Massive. Give me a really big size. Let's go 300, 300. Doesn't matter if it's too big. And let's try to get it back to where it was before. So I'm looking at this top edge over here. And I think it needs to go there. I'm looking at top edge. I think that's it. So did I end up with a square bit there? I did. So we'll do it. Yeah, so there's a big ridge there for some weird reason. And yeah, I think that looks okay. Plunge pull. And I think we may be able to push this back a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Perfect. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. All right, and then we drive onwards. All right, trees. And let's go. I don't think I want flowers. I don't want fruit trees. Mountain ridge. Actually, this is not fruit trees. This is small trees. Yeah, let's get a couple of those in there. And it only paints the gaps. So if there's something there already, as in another tree, it won't do it. That's what this collision means. Skip collision. So it means it won't overpaint someone else. And so strength. And all right, so I think from a height point of view, this is roughly going to be the tree line. And so we need to kind of fill in here. That's a little bit too strong. Let's try that again. And yeah. Nice. I'm not a big fan of that tree, so I don't want to put too many in. And done. All right. We'll do the pines last, not the fruit tree. Next size up. So in general, I tend to put the smaller ones in the middle, and then it gets kind of like a wider. And so they're more dense in the middle. So my thinking is that the tree just has a better chance of surviving if it's sheltered by the bigger trees. And as you can see, we're losing that texture. We'll have to put some of that back. All right, I can probably scroll out when I do this. Just following that same line every time. I probably could be using the mixed brush for this. All right, next tree, a bit bigger. This is going to fill in that void a bit more. And there's only one bigger one than this. And then there's the big tall pines. Yeah, so fill in that valley. The sides, I'm avoiding the middle this time. So we've lost a lot of that wall. I don't know if this is interesting to watch or not. I'm a little bit bored of just doing the same thing over and over. yeah, we just follow those lines. You can see how it's starting to merge and join the other stuff. We can go down to the river a bit. Join over there. Up on that ridge. You can go a little bit higher the bigger the tree gets. Now this is just the way I approach it. I have no idea whether this is the right way of doing it, whether the trees are landing in the right spot from a from a botanic point of view. But it's the way I approach it. And a bit more. Actually, we've missed this shelf. That's a good point. I'm going to put big ones there. And I think that's good enough for that tree. All right, big boy, come in and flesh it out. JK has a mod that... JK is the person who did a lot of the Great Western Railway assets. And it also has lots of environmental mods, so ones that change the look and feel and the color tone of the map. There's a map, there's a one called, actually let's find it. It's called the tree something, JK. So you can see that's where all the Great Western Railway stuff comes from. Down here, there is one where it says, tree shade variation. So for every tree type, they've made 3. So you can see there's 3 pines in this picture. And it means that, you can see, actually there's 5 because there's different, some trees have different sizes. So there's like a darker one, a more orangey one, and a brighter one. And it just means you get more variation. So you can see how this is very plain and then this is all scattered. The risk is, well, you get more under the menu, you get more things. So risk there'll be 3 of these. There'll be the base game and then 3 JK ones. And so this list becomes a lot longer. The other issue is if you get rid of the mod, what will happen is the asset won't exist, and then every single tree will turn into this little box, a little cube with black and white panels on it representing a missing asset. And so you'll end up with hundreds and thousands of these little boxes across the land. So it's definitely one of those mods that you have to commit to. The next map, we will have it. But it means that if that mod is no longer available, it means the save game is trashed. It's going to look terrible. There's no way of recovering from that. So, but it is going to look great. It will give us more variation. So that will definitely be used next map. Come on, a bit more here, a bit more here. Yeah, very lush. I want those small ones to hang out and also to give us the gravel still. Risky, the idea is that this water comes down so fast off the mountains that it actually knocks over trees. And so these big trees, in the annual floods, don't have a chance to really establish themselves because all their saplings get washed away. But, whoops, not on there, not on there. Yeah, big one that goes there. And somehow I put the bigger trees more exposed on the mountain, which is kind of ironic because they're the ones that would probably be more susceptible to wind and being derooted. But it seems to work out okay. Let's make this a tree-lined area. And I'm seeing something obvious over here, so let me just do this quickly. I am quite happy with that so far. Let's have a step back. Yeah, this area does have a lot more of the pines, so that's definitely how we're going to finish it off. We'll put a lot of these in. I think I might turn collision on in a sec, but you can see how they're up in the hills. So a lot of this is the map creator, but also a lot of it's me. So I've gone around and on a lot of these ridge lines, put these in. And so I can't really tell you which ones I did particularly. Now, as I said, this is not going to replace a tree. So if a tree's got a spot already, it will stop it from being placed. We're probably doing this a little bit too strong, but as I said, around here is a lot of that type of forest, that darker color. So I definitely want to pay homage to that. And yeah, so I am going to get rid of some of these judiciously to get some of those rock walls back, Yeah, as I said, RIP my frame rate, but yeah, it's alright. Actually, we can press R. I don't know why I'm doing this unpause. We can have some sounds. And yeah, we can have a sprinkling of these in here as well. I mean, there's no way the saplings haven't flown away in the wind and come down here. And you know what? I think right there. Put some around the station as well. Bit of shade for our customers. And you know what? This is boring right now, so that can be like that. And actually, I'm going to go just the generic everything right now. And let's fill this in and make that look fancy. And what is missing that I'm seeing that's kind of obvious is we need a boat ramp. Gotta have it so that the locals can get down to the water. And yeah, do that, and then I'm actually gonna, I think I'm gonna carve in something here, and we will do an ultra fast little playground. So where's my gravel? And then under assets, Ingo, where is it under? I always forget where it's under. Is it under the farm? Nope. This one? Nope. But we can put a, no, we don't need a wood pile. I always forget where it is. Where is it? Under this one. Here we are. Complete playground. There. And then we want some, actually, you know what? Let's use a fence. I was going to say, let's put some bushes down, but let's use these. And we will line mode. Yep, and then we will dirtify this. Bit of smoothify to get rid of that problem. And then we will grassify around there. It's way too big. That's what I want to do. Grassify. Dirt path in. Bring that out a bit again. Bring the grass back in over there. Really build that up. And we'll have a thing like that. And trees. Give me everything small. Go on, plop. Because I got the sensitivity down low, it's not coming in very fast. And we've got to put down some cars. This person's driven in. Random color. You know, let's have a nice little sports car. Like that. And I don't think I've got many other assets like that makes it obvious. Ladder, wooden barrel, scaffolding, bridge. No. I mean, we could have a second one of these. But yeah, that's fine. What we'll do is, to make it so it doesn't look so weird and stark, we'll just put some trees here. There you go. People can visit there. Come down the water. And go over the trestle. I'm going to keep this one as a trestle, mainly because it's a curve. And the stone bridges don't like curves. You get really weird janky pits because of that. Watch a train go by. It's slowing down for the station. Look at that, you even get the shadow. Look at that down there. The shadow through there between the things comes down on the water. Why are you waiting? Because... okay, another passenger train's coming in our direction. It's a single platform. Wow, that looks different, doesn't it? Yeah, all right. Final touches. So I think we definitely need a bit more nettles in here. All the brambles are taking over. This is all the lowland stuff that somehow can survive not getting washed away. We'll do a bit up there. I'm going to get rid of that one to get that wall back. We're going to get rid of that one to get the wall back. That one. And that one. And that one. That one. Any more that are causing bad shadows? That one. Yeah, I want this white wall to be quite stark. And then over here, I'm kind of okay with that. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there. And then this definitely needs some nettles in there. And then there. I'm all kind of okay with that being very dry and stark. And that's a little bit thick. And I think we're kind of done. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play with that much more. But yeah. Let's press pause. Right there. And that is going to be our screenshot. Let me jump into camera mode so we can... Actually, I'll just go into this mode. And we can check out our good work. We've got the water down the bottom still, very overgrown. Bit of a pool of water there. And then up we go. All this dryness. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And yeah, some of the underbrush over there needs to get filled in because the trees get rid of that texture, so all those nettles we have been lost. And then a very dry area which survives a bit of a flash flood, not too much water, maybe the water comes through here slowly. And it works pretty good. But I will change... Where was that thing we saw? It was here. We'll put some in there. I'll put some stuff through here. Put stuff through there, and then this along this edge. This survives a bit better, and yeah, up there, up around there, around there, around there. I'm holding down shift here, so the trees will collide with the grass textures. So that's the grass, the nettles, the flowers, and then remove them. And so the shift gets rid of that logic and lets you paint underneath their trunks. I don't know if I like that. I suppose we can... Actually, what I might do is paint that rock color. Yeah, that's better. All right, that will be it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Next time, I promise, I've been avoiding it. I'm going to do Guthrie Yard. That's my goal. I am going to do the yard. And yeah, hold me to that. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time.